Hey there everybody, in this video we're going to talk about this bag. This is the Jammer by the brand Roadrunner. Find out what I like and dislike about it in this video. Roadrunner describes the Jammer as a rackless rando handlebar bag. It can be both run on the front and the rear. This bag, like all the other bags by Roadrunner, are made in the US, Los Angeles specifically. Let's address the big expensive elephant right off the bat. Yes, you are going to be spending more for this bag because of its domestic production. This bag retails for $170 US. So what do you get for that money? Basically, you get a roll top handlebar bag that's a little bit different than what's out there on the market. The bag is 11 inches across, 6 inches tall, and 5 inches deep. According to Roadrunner, the capacity is 11 liters. So I would say a little bit larger than your small little day packs. Probably not big enough for full-on bike packing, although they do make a jumbo version of this bag. So point of reference, this is my Bags by Bird bag. This is kind of my bag of choice for touring and bike packing in comparison to the Jammer. So capacity wise, this could be used as a ultralight bike packing bag or a extended day ride bag with lots of snacks, a camera, and some layers. In terms of the design of the bag, it is a roll top design. So you have two buckle claps that kind of tie things down. And inside the main compartment is just a main compartment. There's no organization. It does have a lighter interior, so slightly easier to find things in there. Probably its biggest differentiating point from other bags like the Zeitgeist, which this is probably its closest parallel to, is the application of the external pockets. So instead of them being on the side, they're under this flap in the front. They just open up and you have two pretty generous sized pockets that'll fit a phone easily, maybe a small point and shoot, and even some snacks. One tangible advantage of this design is if you're riding a bike and you have fairly narrow handlebars, instead of the pockets eating up the shifter space, they're in the front instead and expand outwards. I also did find it was a little bit easier to get into these pockets while moving. It could reach around the top while riding, grab what I needed, and then flip it back closed. So while the main compartment isn't as accessible as something like the Jack Supply bag or other flap style handlebar bags out there on the market, where you can kind of just stick your hand under the flap and grab what you need, it does sort of make up for that with this external front pocket system. And I know someone already is going to ask, is it waterproof? You know, it's not waterproof like a plastic bag, but it is highly water resistant. If you need something to stay absolutely dry, just double bag it in a plastic bag. To attach this bag to your bike, it gets a little bit interesting and I'll show you in a second. But basically you have these two webbing straps that go around the handlebar. We've seen this before, nothing new. And then this really long Velcro strap to go around the head tube or the stem of your bike. Another thing to note, there is a reinforced bar here, so this prevents the bag from kind of deforming too much in this direction. For me, this attachment system is okay. I just never get along with these style webbing straps. I feel like this lever is too easy to flip up or clamp down incorrectly. So for me, for long-term use, I'd probably swap these out for just some small belay straps. And as you guys know, I am a big fan of using cordage instead of a strap when bags attach to the head tube of a bike. The cordage is just more flexible to get around smaller frames. Although this is a smaller width strap, I just think elastic cordage does this function a lot better. So in closing the bag, there is one more kind of very long strap to contend with. And this strap functions both as a means to close the bag, but also to lift up and support the load. So the way this works is you take this long strap, you go behind the handlebar, over the front, down through this D-loop here, and back up, and then connect it to the bag to close it here. So you can see that's a bit of a process, and it's easy to forget whether the strap goes behind the handlebar first or in front of. And to me, while it does act as an effective support, it can be a little fiddly. So if you're doing a trip where you know you're going to have to remove the bag very quickly, let's say you're trying to catch an Amtrak and they require all the bags to be off, this is definitely something to keep in mind. I think if you're going on a longer term tour in the middle of nowhere where the bag will basically live on your bike, then it's less of an issue. But this probably wouldn't be my first choice as a daily commuter or daily errand getter in a high theft area where you want to take bags with you, just because it can get a little fiddly. I did find that when I had everything strapped down well, it supported the load even on bumpy terrain. I did miss the quick access of having one main flap that I could slip my hand under, although the easier to access front external pockets did sort of make up for that. I could fit a small camera in here and my phone, things I would get into more frequently during a ride. I did find that the bag could be a little droopy and tip forward, which wasn't a huge issue for me, but in order for it to look its best, I would say you do have to pay attention to the straps and get everything nice and tight. That can be a little problematic if you're, getting in and out of layers here. And you constantly have to fiddle with this buckle that acts as a closure, but as well as a support. Definitely something to keep in mind. Okay, so who is this bag for? I think if you're going out for a really long day or a long weekend and need more capacity than a burrito-sized day bag, then clearly this is for you. Lots of room for snacks and layers and a camera. And I think if you're a maximalist bike packer like myself, then this might not have enough volume for a longer trip. But yeah, I think the bag does its job well. Like I said, I would probably swap out these straps for volets and this for elastic cordage. And again, the side buckle that acts as both a closure as well as support. It does its job as a support, but you do have to deal with a little bit of fiddliness, let's say. But that's what I think. What do you guys think about this bag? Have any of you guys tried the Jammer? I think our friends at Rad Bike Adventure have reviewed this bag as well, so be sure to check out their channel. If you like this content, please consider supporting the channel by joining us on Patreon or buying a sticker. We've got some brand new Retro Grouch stickers up on the shop. And as always, keep the supple side down.